Show you registered to testify on behalf of yourself against House Bill 4. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Please give us your testimony.
Hey, everybody. My name is Ryan Davenport. Quick recap, former field director for the Republican Party of Texas, staffer for Dan Patrick on the Education Committee in the 83rd, two-time elected member of the Texas delegation of the National Convention. I joined you in Arlington when there were no maps on Monday, and now here 4 days later, and 268,000 square miles of Texas has been redistricted almost overnight. And I want to commend the very honest Republican members of this committee on their ability to redistrict 186 square miles of Texas per minute between Monday and Wednesday. I have to reiterate my opposition to this effort. Donald Trump is demanding additional congressional seats so he doesn't have to pay the natural consequences of his assault on free trade, free markets, democratic institutions, his departure from ethical leadership. You are positioned to be his enablers. Not only is he keeping minority voters from having fair representation, but he's systematically removing them, even saying he'd be open to deporting United States citizens and naturalized citizens. Don't you see what is happening? He's reducing the voting population to ensure he can continue his reign of tangerine tyranny. When I was a Republican, it meant protecting unalienable rights, the Constitution, our liberties. We understood that any power you gave a good government today could be used, abused, and weaponized by a bad government tomorrow. And so we reserved those powers for states and the people. There was respect for the proper role of government. What you're doing will create a runaway government hell-bent on imposing an incoherent political dogma on our country. What you are proving is that there is no bounds to the power that you will steal. Individuals who believe in individual liberty and small government, that respect the rights of every American, whether they're black, Hispanic, white, Asian, gay, straight, trans, Christian, Muslim, or Jewish, we can't vote for Republicans anymore because you will abuse every ounce of power that you are given. And the only option that we have left is to join the Democrats to safeguard the ultimate experiment of representative government with checks and balances.
What Texas Republicans are doing right now is so egregious, so anti-democratic, so un-American that even certain Republicans are speaking out against it. The problem lies in the fact that it's only the ones who don't stand to benefit professionally. All of those people, the officials who actually are in office, understand full well the consequences of their actions right now, how they're openly and brazenly carrying out a power grab on behalf of Donald Trump because he's given them a permission structure to drop all pretense about what they are, and that is an authoritarian, anti-democratic movement. And if you don't believe me, just listen to their own words.
The timing of this, can you talk to me about this? Why do this in a census off year when you just redistricted in 2021?
Because we can. We have the votes. It's legal for us to do so. It's legal for us to draw the lines based on political performance. We have 3 Hispanic predominated districts in South Texas that we believe that we can carve out for Republican leadership in the United States Congress. It's going to be a good thing for Texas. I don't spend any time thinking about what happens in California, Illinois, or New York. I'm here to protect Texas and ensure that our voices are heard.
So, because you can, why should you, though?
Because it's good for our party, it's good for our state, and we need to ensure that Donald Trump's agenda continues to be enacted throughout his second term. And we as Republicans see this as the difference between Democrats trying to impeach President Trump again during the second half of his final term as president of the United States, or accomplishing the agenda that all the voters in Texas by a significant majority sent him to accomplish.
So you're doing this for President Trump?
We're doing this for Texas. President Trump doesn't call me. I don't think he has my phone number. But what I would submit to you is this is the best thing for Texas and its representation in the United States Congress.
Because we can, because it's good for our party. The mask is fully off. This is not what a democracy looks like. All of those years spent by Republicans pretending that they were the party of the Constitution, the party of patriots, the party of originalism, of upholding the word of our founding fathers, that was all bullshit. These people are low-rent autocrats hell-bent on consolidating power because they know they can't win on their agenda, and so they have no choice but to rig the rules of the game in their favor. Think about it. They have so little faith in how they govern that rather than simply allow the voters to make their voices heard, their intention instead is to remove the voters from the process entirely, to scientifically engineer permanent majorities for themselves and for Daddy Trump so that they never have to worry about actually earning support. If you're a Republican or independent or a non-voter out there, honest question, do you think this will make your leaders more responsive to your needs? Permanent one-party rule in the United States? Carte blanche for Donald Trump and his dickless sycophants in Congress and state legislatures doing whatever he says? Cutting your health care because he says so? Cutting food assistance because he says so? Moving to privatize your Social Security because he says so? Cutting veteran services because he says so? Entrenching our reliance on fossil fuels and dirty energy because he says so? All the while, there is no recourse when he uses the federal government as his own personal piggy bank, when he gifts himself billion-dollar jets and hosts million-dollar per-plate crypto dinners, and gifts himself a $200 million ballroom so that his life can be just a tad more opulent. So when he promised a jobs boom and a manufacturing renaissance and better healthcare and to protect earned benefits and upgraded infrastructure and lower groceries and cheaper rent and free IVF and to release the Epstein files, you didn't think he'd actually do any of those things, did you? You see, those were just things he said to get your votes, but now that he's got power, his focus is stuff like this.
We also painted the room a nice color, beige color. And it's been really something. The only question is, will I gold leaf the corners? You could maybe tell me my cabinet could take a vote. You see the top line moldings, and the only question is, do you gold leaf it? Because you can't paint it. If you paint it, it won't look good because they've never found a paint that looks like gold. You see that in the Oval Office.
All right,
So if you believe Trump when he ran his populist campaign, now you see where his priorities actually lie. But worse, his power is derived from the fact that all of the people who can actually serve as a check to him are instead enabling and emboldening him. And that's only going to get worse as these impotent, spineless, obsequious Republicans in states like Texas continue to help him consolidate full control of the United States government. All because they're too afraid of a mean tweet or losing their precious seat. These people looked at a 250-year democratic experiment in this country and decided, me being a state representative in good standing with Donald Trump is more important than living in a free country. So I think I'll just go help this snake oil salesman from Queens because he's decided that he's entitled to more power. I gotta say, I'm old enough to remember when Texas Republicans wanted us to believe they were tough and independent and didn't have their lips latched onto the tiny dick of a slimy New Yorker, but I guess those days are behind us. And Jasmine Crockett echoed that sentiment.
All they do is they take the power and then they ignore the people that put them in power. What they do instead is they pledge their fealty to some idiot who obviously is struggling mentally, whether it is mental decline or whether it's not he's ever had the capacity. They have decided that they are going to do whatever it is that he wants them to do instead of doing what's right for Texas. One of my colleagues, Sylvia Garcia, continues to say, I never thought I'd see the day that a Texan would bow down to a New Yorker, right? Like, we know how Texas has this next level pride the same way that New York does, but that's exactly what we see happening. So the only thing the Democrats can do is they can decide that they're going to sit there and be the nice guys that we have always been, the ones that always want to take the high road, or they can decide that there is a fight that is being waged. And while we didn't start it, we will finish it and make sure that we finish it on behalf of the American people and democracy.
And finally, here's the minority leader in Texas, Jean Wu, with a message to everyone across the country watching this process play out in Texas.
We can't fight this fight forever. What we need is Americans to stand up. We're buying time for Texans to wake up. We're buying time for Americans to gear up, to not only deal with Texas, but deal with this in every other state. Because if this is allowed to happen, if people who lie, cheat, and steal are allowed to win the day, that is the end of our country. That is the end of everything we believe in. Because our nation has always been about hard work and fair play. That it doesn't matter what your last name is. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. It doesn't matter who you were born to, or it shouldn't. And everyone who works hard and follows the rules will get ahead. If you believe in that, if you want that back, do something. Get off your ass, right? This is our last shot in saving the American dream. And I, for one, I'm not ready to let the American dream die without a real good fight. But we need everybody to stand up and fight.
To that end, let's raise some funds. Last week, we raised over $50,000 for Texas Democrats on this channel. This week, we're raising for Beto O'Rourke's Powered by People, which is an organizing juggernaut in the Lone Star State. That link is going to be on the screen and in the post description of this video. If you can donate, it makes a huge difference. And lastly, I don't care what political persuasion you are, this is not right, this is not ethical, this is not fair, and this is not American. This will destroy this country, and once it happens, there is no going back. So speak out now, because now is when it counts. Do not look away, do not disengage, do not concede defeat. If you care about what happens in this country, if you care about healthcare or reproductive rights or climate change or gun safety, this matters. And the window to stop it is closing. So fight now while we still have the chance. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.